heavy body paint, okay? This is gonna be thicker than the acrylics we normally use, and so it's gonna take longer to dry. But we're gonna be using this to create our flower. And tomorrow, after this dries overnight, tomorrow afternoon, maybe after my live with Tamara, we are going to do a few little tiny details to our flower, and then we'll put some glass and resin on it. So this is step 1 of 2, all right? Final Mother's Day flower, because we got dads to think about as well. So what I'm gonna do first is some of these colors that I'm using are metallics. So we're gonna use white and then the metallic white. Oh, and then we're gonna use green and then metallic green. Are y'all blinded by that? So I'm gonna just continue that, and we're gonna do some metallics on our background. So I'm gonna start with this metallic antique gold. And we're just gonna cover our entire canvas with this antique gold. So let's get started there. And I am going to use a sponge brush to apply that, because it just, no, I'm just giddy. I'm just being silly. I'm going to use a sponge brush because it does lay out the metallics better without leaving brush strokes. And you're going to want to go in one direction. So just follow me, okay? Follow me. Y'all follow me. So I'm going to go ahead and do my sides, because I think we're going to need to do them, because this is going to have a little more color than normal. So let's go ahead and get our sides done. We may need 2 coats of this, but we'll do one and then see what the story is. Pull in one direction. That lays all the metallic on one side and gives you a nice, aw, thank you, Jean. Gives you a nice, flat, smooth finish instead of it being blotchy. So pull in one direction and the last side. Getting that little crack right there too. And then you're gonna come back and pull in one direction so it's not blotchy, all right? Thank you for the sprinkles, ladies. We'll be gifting, let's go ahead and make that call. We'll be gifting this. We won't be able to ship it until Friday, but we will be gifting this for sprinkles. All right, so let's get it on, and you can just apply it in whatever manner you want. I need more. But when it's all said and done, you need to lay it out in one direction. All right, so you can just do all sorts of directions, but if you want a nice, crisp, non-blotchy finish, you're gonna want to just pull that in one direction and lay all that metallic flat. All right, so let's go ahead and dry this. Oops, let me get that little edge. Let's dry this because it does need. Thank you, Lucy. That means so much. Let's dry this, and hang on, my thing's not plugged up. We've been working so much in here today that I forgot to plug up my little handy dandy heat gun. All right, hang on. Here we are. So I'm gonna dry this so we can get a second coat, and y'all can just look at my ring while we do it. I know, Kimberly. It's just something else, isn't it? Thank you for the sprinkles, ladies. So yeah, don't forget, if you sprinkle and you're interested in being gifted this little goodie, make sure you come back. Make sure you sprinkle and then come back and tell me you sprinkled. We'll just get this dry. Get a second coat on. We'll give that a few seconds to cool off because you don't want to paint hot. Oh, you don't want to paint hot. I need to stop. I'm being a little sassy. A little sassy. All right, let's hit the sides again. Isn't it amazing? And I'm not even really a big jewelry kind of girl, but I think it's not so much the jewels itself, is just the happiness, just the commitment, and, you know, it's the boy. I like the boy. So let's hit these sides one more time. And thank you. Y'all are so sweet. Y'all get me, don't you? Oh, there's big oh nasty something something on there. There, I think I got it. And I think that's it. All the way around again. Thank you, Polly. You're so sweet. We should say, yes, we should say sparkle. You're very sparkly today. Ugh, this paint is icky. Now, I'm not terribly worried about this gold laying out perfect. I am gonna do a one direction pull, but I'm not worried about it being perfectly opaque because we are going to do something over the top of it. We're not just gonna leave it plain gold. So I just want it to be enough that you can see the gold underneath. So we're gonna hit this again with our dryer. And then we're gonna do another step. Thank you for the stars. All right, sorry. So let's, come here, little cord. Oh, poo. Don't touch the end. That's hot. We're gonna get this dry. We got 2 polys. You flip it, make sure my edges are done. Oh, they're still a little tacky. Yay, Elizabeth! Thank you as well. So this is antique gold. So it's a little less like in your face yellowy. And here's what we're gonna do next. That's antique gold. I'm gonna take, hopefully this works out. I may try it on the side. Actually, I'm a little, all right, I'm second guessing myself, so bear with me for one moment. No, I'm going with it. I'm going with it. So I brought this, I know, Maria, it touched me right there and it hurt. That's funny. Okay, this is Folk Art Silver Sterling. It is just a metallic silver. I know, Marie. Just walking around. One of my arms is going to be bigger than the other now. Thank you, Kimberly. Oh, no. Be safe, girl. I am going to put some of the silver on my plate. And we're going to just use a palette knife. And I'm going to see how it looks. And I may wipe it off, okay? I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. We're gonna do a flower, by the way. I want a nice dark background because we are going to do our flower in the white, all right? So let's try our silver. And what I'm gonna do, let me make it run, is just tap the back of my palette knife into that silver. This may be too translucent. And I am just going to run it. Oh, that's nice. Lightly, let's get a little more. I'm gonna run it lightly. I want a little bit more than that, but it's like I'm afraid to get too much on there. I think there's a little dip here too, or there's something on my, there we go. Let me come this way. I want it to have like a distressed kind of look, but I still want it to be metallic. So let me get a little more of this. So just get it on the back of your knife, and you're gonna just pull very lightly, tickle, tickle, very lightly, pull that down. And you don't want to cover a lot. You want it to look like it cracked and peeled off, okay? Kind of like peeled paint. Just kind of a distressed, that's kind of what I'm going for, a kind of a distressed look. And I'm gonna cover maybe 50% of the top of my canvas. I'm just gonna keep adding until I like the way it looks, all right? So add a little here, a little here. And you can go side to side too if you end up with a big blob. Like let's say you had just a big huge blob like that. You can pull it either way to kind of help spread it out. Don't be afraid to go in both directions. All right, so we'll pull that way. I think I want a little bit more, and then we're gonna add some to our sides. I'm trying to like picture my flower. I'm gonna put maybe just a little more here. And here. All right, now for my edges, I don't want this to take 16 hours to do. So I'm gonna grab a brush and a dry brush. So I'm not gonna wet this, okay? I'm just gonna take it dry, and I'm gonna add some paint on the sides flat, just kind of dip in. And I'm just going to very lightly pull some of that silver onto my edges. See how I did that? Can you see that? Not a lot, just enough that it kind of blends with the top a little. I need more silver. Oh, yeah, it's getting darker and darker here. Darker and darker. So, dry brush. Just dip it in on both sides, and then just lightly drag that across the edges. It just kind of helps create like a skippy texture. See? Let's do this side, and then we're gonna dry this, because this will dry good. Pull. And if you don't have a palette knife, you could totally do this with your brush on the front as well. Just make sure you're using a dry brush and not one wet with water. All right, so I'm gonna add just a smidge here. I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun, and then we're gonna start on our flower. So we have gold and silver. Thank you, Tina. Plastic butter knife, you go, girl. Is everybody having storms? Yeah, I'll get it right after you do, Lee, whoever you are. Almost dry. It's gonna take a minute. I'm gonna flip it. Make sure I get my edges. Then I'll show it to you up close so you can kind of see. Just been tornadoes everywhere in the last little bit, hadn't it? Yeah, it's just getting darker and darker outside of here. a couple of thicker spots that are still wet, so try not to get my hands in wet paint and burn myself. All right, I think we're good. Now that's gonna take a minute to dry, but I'm gonna hold it up close to the camera so you can kind of see the texture. It's not really textured, it's really smooth, but you can kind of see, I don't know what's going on here. You can kind of see, hang on, my laptop froze. You can kind of see that metallic, the silver and gold together looks really pretty, doesn't it? Nadine, stay tuned for aqua brushes. Stay tuned. We are branding our own brushes and palette knives, and we're super excited about it. All right, so gold and silver. Gold first, silver just randomly brushed on, or use a palette knife to apply. Okay, that's still pretty warm. I'm gonna give it another second, and then we are going to trace on, I do need a Lazy Susan. Trace on a cute little flower, and we're going to use our texture to, it's still really warm and a little sticky. I may need to hit it, pardon me, while I hit this one more time. I'm going to turn the air down to a little bit cooler so it's not so hot. Hang on. I'm blowing stuff everywhere. There we go. Not so hot. I need to dry a little bit more, but I don't want to burn it up. So yeah, if you're doing this at home, just let it dry natural. It's always best. I mean, I have to force things dry just for time's sake here, but it's always best for things to dry naturally. Starting to get there. There we go. There we are. Okay, who's ready to trace? All right, that's nice and dry, a little bit warm, but I'm gonna take my tracer and I am going to figure out how, I'm gonna just take my little bit of tape. Snow, what? No way. I'm gonna tape it down here at the bottom. Just kind of like a little book. Just hinge it. Then I'm going to use my handy dandy graphite paper. Marsha's in the in the Arctic, I think. Marsha, I can't remember where you live. I know it's in the Arctic. All right, so let me line that back up. I'm just going to lightly trace with my stylus. If you don't have this, you can use a pen, and I'm just going to trace on my shapes. Just a nice little leaf and flower, and just petals, nothing fancy. And you got that center part. All right, let's take a peek. There we go. And we'll peel this off. Yeah, and this. Put this over in tracer land. I'm trying to be tidy, y'all. Trying to be tidier. Now we are ready to rumble. Okay, so here is what I'm using. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a different, I'm trying to decide if this is too big. I think it might be. I may just use the same brush, or the same palette knife. If I had a bigger canvas and was doing bigger petals, this is really good for fat petals. but I think I'm gonna stick to this palette knife that I had, right? Same old palette knife. And I am going to use, this came from Hobby Lobby, guys. They have, every craft store has their own brand. And this is Hobby Lobby's Master's Touch. And I'm gonna just squirt a little. Whoops, that's brand new, isn't it? Look at there. I know I got one opened, but we're gonna open it anyway. Hang on, I think we are. There we go. There we are. We're gonna squeeze out some of that white, and you see how thick it is? It just came out like marshmallow cream on my plate. So it's nice and thick. Okay, it's gonna create some nice texture. That's probably not enough, but here is how we're gonna go, okay? So I'm just gonna grab up some, and I am very loosely gonna create a petal. My only goal at this point is for my tracer lines not to show. And so I'm gonna go outside my lines a little, and we're just gonna create, scoop up. Now that's a pretty generous portion. It looks like marshmallow cream, don't it, Amy? Do you want to lick it? And just create some petals, all right? You want it to have a little texture and a little movement. So once you get it on, you can just come in and create like whatever kind of movement you want. I'm just gonna get it on and then we'll futz. So start at that tip and just push it down, and I'm very lightly pushing, okay? I'm not putting a lot of pressure because I want that texture. So grab it up and just lay it down, and then just gently move it around. Very gently pull it towards the center. So we have 4 petals so far. I'll give you a little close-up look. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I just said, okay, somebody on my post said, let's do something with texture. And I thought, well, let's grab out the modeling paste. And I thought, no, I haven't used my heavy body paint in a while, so let's use that. So that's what we're doing. Somebody just walked in, y'all. So just pull that towards the center. Hey, SG. Thank you, darling. You brought me some tea, y'all. Amy said, hey, Steve. Hey. We'll make him come and talk to us after we're done. All right, one more petal. And you see how easy this is. So it's really would be easy for you to line up like 10 or 15 canvas, and just, everybody is saying, oh, he's walked out, hadn't he? Just to line up a bunch of canvases and just start applying, right? And all it took was that one dollop. I'm gonna get a little more and just kind of build up each one. Maybe start in the middle and just push down and pull towards the middle. We'll grab this. I'm gonna go right in the middle, push down and pull towards the center of the flower. I'm just making like an extra little layer. And lastly, we'll just use every bit of this and push down, and so it kind of creates like multi petals. Kathy, what are you talking about? Everybody's saying, hello, Steve, you did a good job picking out that gorgeous ring. Congratulations. Thank you, Angela. Julie said you did so good, Steve. You have wonderful taste. All the single ladies, all the single ladies. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some silver, because I want to add a little bit of silver. Listen to Lo, you're so silly. I'm going to just squirt a little bit of this textured silver. This is silver. This one says titanium white. And I'm going to just scoop up a tiny bit, very little, and just kind of add it on the left side of my flower, just to give it a little extra color. Just throw that in so it's not stark white. So we're working with metallics. I should have used white pearl. I don't know if I have white pearl, but and right there. Just to give it a little depth. You know, I can't stand one single color. So there we are. Yes. Excellent proposal, they said. All right, so in the center of the flower, I think I really want tomorrow when we do our resin, I want to add these yellowy beads because they're kind of gold, and I think they will reflect well here. So I think I'm going to grab a color for the center that is in this paste as well. So give me a sec. I think I have gold, and it might take me a second to find it because I have 1,000 colors of all of the colors. Antique gold, right? So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the antique gold and watch this, y'all. I'm just gonna put some on. Oh, that's brand new too. I know I have an open bottle. Same thing, antique gold. And I'm gonna squeeze some out onto my knife. Watch this. See if I can do it without making a mess. Apparently not. It's clogged. Hang on. Hey, Cindy Holloway. Look, it's got a big old nasty. Give me a sec. Let's see if we can get that off. All right, now let's try again. I'm just going to squish out about that much. Can you see that? And I'm just gonna smush it right into the center of my flower. All right, boom, 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 boom. Voila, done. All right, now let's put the top back and let's add this to our lists. So tomorrow we're gonna do the leaves, and I'm gonna use my pen tomorrow to do the stem, but I'm gonna add some of this green to my leaves. And tomorrow what we'll do is we are gonna detail our stem. We're going to add a little bit of this gold right on those dried edges of that flower. Just give it a little bit of extra something, something, and really take this up a notch, okay? So this is just the beginning. All right, I love this for leaves when you're using heavy body paint. Or look, love this for leaves. This is kind of that was the wrong one. I was looking at my ring, wasn't I? This is a long, skinny palette knife. I love this, all right? And so I'm just gonna grab up on the back of my knife. Can you see how much I have? It's hard to tell, isn't it? And I'm gonna turn it this way, and I am literally just gonna lay that green right on top of my trace, all right? I'm not even gonna cover the whole thing because I'm gonna grab some of this metallic green. This says pearlized dark green. I saw this color recently, it's brand new, and thought we must have. Now it's all over my fingers. So let's just squish some out. All right. in, I'm just gonna scoop up some of that pearl green and we're gonna finish that out. So we have multiple colors of the green, not just the plain green. We'll mix some more of that in. All right, now let's do the same thing to the other side. I'm just gonna lay it in. If I was doing this without being on a live, I would not have traced out the leaves because sometimes it's harder to like follow that tracer line than it is just to form your own leaves in your head. All right, so keep that in mind. If you're fairly decent at that, instead of tracing it on, just let it be, all right? So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna grab my pen real quick, and I'm gonna show you. So this is our marker that we like to use. You can use a Posca or a pen like this. So we're gonna be using this to fill in. I might use a Posca. This pen is trying to be dead. All right, I'm actually gonna wait to do this tomorrow. I'm so worried I am gonna like get my hands in this. So this is all of step one, okay? So let me give you a heads up about what we're gonna do tomorrow. We're gonna let our flower dry first off, okay? Then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna detail out the stem. We're gonna draw, you know, give a little detail around the leaves themselves. We're gonna give a little pen detail around the petals. We're gonna highlight the petals with a little bit of gold. And then we're gonna add some seed beads to the center and maybe a little clear glass on the side and do our resin. So this is just the ugly duckling beginner stage. And I actually want, I'm gonna, hang on. Something about that's bugging me. A little too much there. So don't be afraid. This takes quite a bit of time to dry, so don't be afraid to come in and futz with it if you need to. All right, I'm gonna walk away. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna take a little rub and buff. I don't know if you guys know about this stuff, but you can find this in most craft stores and hang it like a bat. That's right, Jane. This is a metallic wax-based metallic. I just talked all over myself there, didn't I? This is called Rub and Buff. It's a metallic wax, okay? And you use this, you can, normally you can put it on a little sponge brush or on a tissue or a paper towel or whatever. I just use my finger. That's ready, Sandra. I'm just gonna use my finger because I've got paint all over me already anyway, so what the heck. So the first thing I want to do is just add a little bit of this metallic wax on my flower, okay? And I'm just gonna hit the high points of my flower and my leaves with just a smidge of this wax. So it comes in this little tube. And what you can do is just squish out the tiniest amount because a little bit goes a long, long way. I wish I'd been drinking red coffee in this cup. It's a little early for red coffee for me. I'm not very good at day drinking unless I'm laying on the beach. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just put this on my finger. I'm just gonna get a little bit, and you can see that metallic on my finger. Don't get too much. You just want a tiny bit on your finger, okay? And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna rub. Oh, my hand, I got green on my finger too, so hang on. Let me clean my hands. That was not smart. I had all kinds of paint, which I just transferred right on to my canvas. It's too late now. Let me get this off my hands. That was silly. This, what I'm using is metallic gold leaf. That's the color. And it is mandatory. I think, Dixie, once you're on vacation, once you hit the airport, it's time. You gotta start. You gotta start right away. That way you don't miss a moment, right? So let me get all that paint off my hands. That was silly. So let's try this again. I'm gonna go into that gold, just get a little bit on my finger, and we're gonna hit the high spots of our flower, anything that's raised with and I'm barely touching my flower, y'all. Barely, barely, barely touching. I don't want to smush it all over the place. Red coffee is red wine in a coffee cup, girl. That's how we roll up in here. All right, so I'm just dipping my finger into that wax and barely touching and just adding a little bit of extra magic to this flower. I have to tell y'all what happened. After we got off the live on Wednesday, I was showing Steve, I had this in my hand, and y'all know it was thick. It was still wet yesterday, so you know it was thick and gushy. And I dropped it in my own hand, so I was holding it, and I went to put it down, and I lost control, and it went right into my hand. So if it looks a little different and smeary, that would be why, because I had to do a little bit of repair work and get it off my hand. So I'm just gonna add a little here and there, wherever I want. I'm gonna hit these leaves as well. So I'm just gonna get a little more on my fingers, a little more. And I'm barely touching, just barely touch and hit the high points of those leaves too. Now, let me get this off my finger and then I'll show you what it looks like up close and personal. So it kind of makes it pop a little. It's kind of like adding shading and highlight. So there's our flower now, just a little bit of extra on any high point, and look how it really kind of makes the leaves pop. Yeah, this is not modeling paste, it is white, heavy-bodied paint. Go watch Wednesday's live if you're not sure what we're doing here. But yes, metallic gold and silver. Then we use the heavy body acrylic paint for our flower and our leaves and for the center. And now we're adding highlights. I'm gonna grab a cute little pencil paintbrush. I don't even know what I'm saying. Lord have mercy. This is why I don't work on Friday. My brain is kaput. So I'm just gonna wet that. I'm gonna go into this avocado green. And I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a stem. This was so wet the other day, and I got you, Laura, I got you. This is, it was still too wet the other day for me to get up in there. So I'm gonna use this little thing to brace my hand. And I'm gonna come in here and just pull straight down from that flower and give myself a flower stem. Probably should grab a tiny bit of white so it's not flat. Let me grab the tiniest drop of white. I'm lost, I don't know where my things are. Just a drop of white, not much. I just want to add a teensy wincy itsy bitsy bit of that to the green on my paintbrush and give it a little bit of dimension so it doesn't look like just a flat green line. All right, and just like that, mission accomplished. Right, so yay, Natalia, how fun. So there we are. Now I'm gonna hit this just for 10 seconds with my heat gun, and then we're gonna move on and do a little pin work detail. Just wanna make sure this is nice and dry. My thing is on cold. I tried to dry it yesterday a little bit on cold, and then it started crackling. So, hey, Julie or Joyce? Who do we have today? All right, so now, hold on. I'm gonna use my Posca pen. See, this one I don't work on Friday. I'm crazy, y'all. I am going to use my Posca pen and just do the tiniest bit of outlining, just to make everything just kind of pop off the canvas. I already outlined my leaf over here because I was just testing yesterday to see what I wanted to do, and I approved. So we're just gonna keep going. I'm gonna come right down, short strokes down my little stem, kind of on both sides. Then we'll outline just short baby strokes on that leaf. So it really just kind of helps it pop off the canvas. This is the teeny tiny one. It's the fine Posca, the skinniest one. It is the 0.7 millimeter. All right, so I'm not gonna do anything on the inside of my flower because we're gonna put some seed beads and a little glass around here, but I'm just gonna go short, just a few little marks around the outside, just to kind of help those pop off the canvas too. It's like, just like that. And you could even like add some little demarcation between your petals if you so chose, just to help separate your petals, all right? Easy as that, easy peasy, a lemon squeezy. So yes, that's the 0.7 millimeter. It's my all-time favorite. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, I'm trying to keep all my things in the right place. The next thing we're gonna do is to add some seed beads, all right? I store mine down. Thank you. Actually, I just got these done after this happened, and I was thinking they would last through my engagement trip, but this one started peeling off, so now I'm a little mad because this is a week-old manicure, and I've already messed it up on this finger, so now I'm gonna have to get them done again. All right, so real quick, we're gonna be adding a few of these little seed beads just right to the center, and then I'm gonna add just a little bit of this Starfire glass around the edge on the bottom a little. But I think what I'm gonna do first is go ahead and mix my resin. We can add our glass there, but I'm not gonna add my seed beads until we put the resin on. So we'll put a little bit of resin, then we'll do the seed beads, and then we'll drizzle a little more on top. So I'm just gonna add very willy-nilly a few, I'm gonna get these great big ones out, a few small nuggets of clear, or this is Starfire, excuse me. Got a little frog in my throat, ribbit. Just a few little nugs of Starfire to the bottom, just for fun, just for giggles, just because we can, right? And yeah, I was thinking about doing that, but it's just coming off. You know, it caught in my hair. That's right, chicken nuggets. It caught in my hair and then popped off like right at my cuticle. And then yesterday it popped off a little more, and I can see that I could probably just peel that right off. So anyway, I may just go have them fix that one fingernail. Okay, so let's go ahead and just mix up a little resin. I'm gonna go ahead and just use my Posca to mark my line as well. And I'm just going to mix the smallest amount. I don't want a ½ ounce, that's a lot. I am going to mix, that's about the same as a ½ ounce. Well, it's a little less. I'm gonna go to the milliliters on my cup because that's a little less than ½ ounce. I'm worried that a ¼ ounce is too little, a ½ ounce is too much. So we're gonna find a happy spot on this cup, and we're gonna do 5 milliliters. I gotta find it, my eyeballs are failing me. There's our 5 milliliter line, and then our 10 milliliter line, which is a little less than the 1/2 ounce. I think that's going to be about right with my eyes, with my all-seeing eyeball. Hey, Bernice, we kind of really just got started. Hey, Angela, thank you for the stars. So let me grab gloves, and we're going to mix up a little bit of resin, and then we'll do our little finishing touches as well. So I hope this ring doesn't pop through this glove. I think I'm still a little silly about it. So look at that, just sticking right up, isn't it? Thank you, Catherine. Whoops, look, it's just poking right through. I actually just ripped the wrist off of my gloves, so I better be careful. So, hey, Lynn. I have stored mine tip down for years and years, so you do you, boo. You do you. All right, so we're gonna do 1 part hardener. Yep. One more drop, and 1 part resin. So we're gonna be gifting this flower on Monday. We're gonna let the resin cure up really nicely. So we're gonna be gifting this finished flower to someone who sprinkles the love and lets their friends know that we're here hanging out, making pretty art, and giving away wonderful prizes, right? Gifts, gifts, gifts. All right, so we're gonna stir. Catherine's gonna time me. Yeah, I should have done that. Probably be easier. This glove's too tight now. Okay, so we're gonna just stir for 3 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, it's because they don't apply it right, but they would never own it. One time I had too many hormones and my nails were oily. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, Tina, I'm gonna tell you this. I used to get a dip, and I stopped doing that because my nails were shot. And I was so sad because my nails were always really nice and long. And so for the longest time, and it took a year or more for my nails to get over that dip and how they just sand your nail bed down. So it took a year, and then I started just painting my own nails, just buying nail polish and painting them when I wanted them to look pretty, because my manicures never last anyway, and it's really frustrating. But after I received this lovely blue encapsulated engagement ring, I decided to go and get myself a manicure. Plus, we were going on our engagement trip next week, and so I thought, why not, right? Thanks, Sheila, for the stars. Thanks, Karen, for the stars. Thanks, Elaine. So it's the first time I've actually had a paid-for manicure in forever, and this is the gel. I will not ever get a dip again, but this is the gel manicure, and I'm pretty put out about it because it was super expensive. Super expensive. So I may just go and have them redo that one nail if they'll do it. If not, I don't know what I'll do. I like them both, Ellen. It's just whichever one I grab. This Posca has a little bit more of a tip, of a nib. Thank you, Sherry, than the graphite. So when I want, they ruined my nails, Jane. When I want a little more color, I will use the Posca because the nib is bigger. And if I want super fine details, I'll use the graphic, the illustration marker. So it just depends on what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm not happy because it's like a week yesterday that I got this manicure, and I thought it was going to last me through, and it shouldn't be peeling off in a week. Not at the price they charge. Hey, thanks, Catherine. Yeah, not at the price they charge. It should definitely not be coming off in 7 days' time. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is start with my glass down here at the bottom. And let me see, a little nug fell off. I'm just gonna drizzle over this glass. Seal it down a little. Hey, Shannon, how you doing, love? Just drizzle, drizzle. Let's bump that up just a little so it's not hanging off the edge. I hope they will, Catherine. They're so slow too. When I got this manicure done, I was like, this is another reason why I don't go get my nails done. Well, one, I paint all day. I'm in resin. I got gloves on, I'm making a mess of my hands. But it was 3 hours. I got a mani and a pedi, and I was at the nail salon 3 solid hours. And I was like, I cannot deal with this. This is way too much sitting. Way too much. Yeah, well, my nails are naturally strong, which is why I stopped getting the dip, because the dip ruined my nails, ruined them. They were like soft as butter, and it was very frustrating. And I would even tell them, please don't use that file on my nails so much, because they just file down right into your skin if you let them. All right, I'm going to use the rest to cover the rest of my flour. So I'm just going to drizzle that on and save myself a little bit for over my beads, because I want them to be super strong. So I'm just going to move this around. But anyway, I just had to stop doing it. It was cutting into my, trying to pay my house off too. That's so expensive for something that doesn't last as long as it should. All right, so I'm just spreading this to cover the entire canvas. Make sure you get it in there good, especially in this texture. Yeah, it's hard for me to sit still that long. I was chomping at the bit. Holy moly. All right, I think I got it all covered. I'm kind of trying to look at it from a couple different angles, especially in this texture. You want to kind of really look at that good and make sure it's all covered up. All right, let's hit that corner. I believe I got it. I'm just gonna wipe the resin off onto this paper towel. Yes. I was there literally 3 hours. I was losing my mind. All right, here's what I'm gonna use for the center of my flower. These are the 6/0, so they're a little bigger. Yeah, it's not the dip, but they won't do the dip without filing your nails down all the way to, your nail bed. So I'm going to put some of this on the center. It's a little bigger than I want, but I really love the color, and this is all I have. This is called Buttercream Coated. And look at that. It's a bunch of different colors of yellow and gold and all that. So let's open this. It's brand spanking new. And try not to cut our arms off, because I'm using this blade. I miss the days when they just painted your nails really pretty, and it was cheap. And then, yay, Teresa. They're so pretty, aren't they? And it was super cheap, and you could afford to go back every 10 days or so because it was so inexpensive. All right, I am going to put some of that in here. Yes, it's called Buttercream Coated. And it's got like a pearl and a gold and a buttery yellow frosted. So stinking pretty. Lots of pretty colors. Trying to figure out where to sit this so it doesn't spill. And I'm just going to dump some of this right in the middle to give my flower a little extra something, something. And I really want it to like have a really good center, which is why I'm going to go ahead and drizzle right on top. I don't normally drizzle on my beads. I just let them float, but we're going to add more. I really want it to pop. So we'll add a few more drizzles And then we'll sprinkle on a few more beads. Just give that center a really nice pile of beads. Get over where you're supposed to be. We'll hit that again, just so they'll stay put. Get in there. Get over there. Get there. All right. That's about all that. I'm going to take whatever's left, which is just a smidgy, and just kind of run it over. Oops. So that was less than a quarter ounce, or more than a quarter ounce, less than half ounce. I did it in the cc's, so it was, or milliliters, total of 10 milliliters. I don't know how that pans out, but if you have the same cups as I do, yours has milliliters too. So I'm not sure what this flower is. I just was messing around. I said magnolia. A lot of us said magnolia. And Steve, who thinks he's the connoisseur of all things flowers and plants, says it is not a magnolia because magnolias don't have these little baby petals. So I say mind your business. Yes. Yeah, I know, Teresa. I just wanted something that was going to last for longer than, I wanted it to last through vacation. So anyway, I'll probably take this off myself. Anyway, check it out. It looks so pretty for something that took so long to dry. Yeah, he is right, but still. Oh, it looks like a dogwood, Bobby said. So I'm just calling this for now. I'm calling it textured flower. Maybe a metallic flower. I don't know. We'll call it something similar to gardenias. It's just a pretty flower. That's all it is, right? It's just pretty. And this will be gifted to someone. Let me hit it with my heat gun real quick just to make sure we don't have any bubblies. He did take it home. He thanks you. I thank you. All right. Get that straightened up. Oops. 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 And let's get these gloves off. That's right, Kimberlyn. That's right. We'll call it what we want to call it, won't we? Somebody on the interweb will set me straight, though. That happens to me a lot. If I call something specific, I get called out for it. So here is our final product. So cute. Thank you, Karen. Let's raise this camera up and turn it this way. And look, let's see if I can turn it back down just a little. How pretty is that? Oops, I caused a drip from tilting it. Hang on. I'm making it drippy, so we won't do that. But here's how pretty it is. Nice.